What's up? How you doing? Here we are again. Today, extremely mild out. Feels like mid-spring. Bit overcast, but it's very tropical. Tropical. So it's that time again. We're gonna have Italian sausages, two varieties. We got the pork variety and the chicken. And I'm gonna make some chicken wings also. So I'm going to set it up here and we're going to begin. Get the pan. That's butcher's paper. I know on the Kung Fu, the original Kung Fu with David Garrett, they made him walk on rice paper without tearing it. I think that's impossible, unless you weigh like an ounce or something. But if you weigh anything above what a supermodel weighs, you're gonna tear that rice paper. So this is butcher's paper, it's a lot tougher. We have a beer here I've never had before. If you could see that. Allagash white. It says Belgian style wheat beer. So this beer contains coriander and orange peel. Made in Maine. I love the state of Maine. Beautiful state. It says from Maine with love. Independent brewers since 1995. So that's when they fought that war and became independent. So we're going to try a little bit right now. Let you know. Extra cold. I had it in the freezer for about a half hour. Nice blonde color. Smells refreshing. Definitely can smell the orange. Delicious, but not your typical beer. Very flavorful, refreshing. Tastes like something you would have in Iceland. If I went to Iceland, I would have this. But good quality, premium beer. Drink in moderation. So, got my friend over here. I'm gonna grab the meat. I went to the meat market earlier today, so I got some good stuff. Okay, so 4.5 pounds of chicken wings. I wanted 5. They only had 4.5. And I don't want to force him to go and cut some more. 4.5 is enough. So I got 4.5 here. I have Italian sweet chicken sausages right here. And this one is pork. Both sweet. Right there. Quiet. And I got some good hot sauce here. Black truffle infused hotter sauce is what it's called. So this it says made with the finest red chili peppers and infused with black winter truffle. This has a good reputation. I read a review on this in a magazine and they gave it high marks, good quality. So I don't know if you can see that right there. So we're going to try some of that after, but allegedly it's very hot. Good flavor in here. And we're going to begin shortly. So I was going to say, I was thinking earlier today about a singer, Leif Garrett. I used to call him Leaf, like on a tree, Leif Garrett, but it's Leif Garrett. So anyway, I used to go visit a friend of mine after school when I was little. Back then when the law allowed you to wander when you were little. And I never met his mother because his mother was never home at that time. She worked, and me and him would be at the house, you know, in the kitchen usually. And one time I was in his room, and he had an album. He had a turntable on the side there, but he had an album, and he grabbed the album and he says, I think you're gonna like this. And for me, a lot of times I have to hear a song, I have to pick through it, you know, I have to hear it a few times before my mind adjusts and either accepts it or tosses it away. But this one here, he puts it on and immediately it grabbed me. So it was the Leif Garrett album that had all the cover versions. Surfing USA was on there, Put Your Head on My Shoulders was on there, and the song that he played was Surfing USA by the Beach Boys, as done by Leif Garrett. And I thought it was awesome. So time went by like it usually does, and I went to a record store and I bought back then the 8-track, because my mother's car had an 8-track player. So I put it in the 8-track, and I don't know, it's not even an exaggeration, I probably heard that album like 800 times, maybe 850, just over and over and over and over and over. And then we got another car, and the 8-track no longer fit in there, and then you couldn't find that album anywhere. But I really enjoyed that album and his style. And then he had that other song, I think it was an original to him, but it was called I Was Made for Dancing, right? That was a good song. But yeah, and in recent years he wasn't doing too good, but I think he's doing okay now. But anyway, I was a huge fan. I'm still a fan of his. Leif. That's a wimpy car or a moped. I can't tell. If it's a moped, okay, that's acceptable, but if you're a car and you sound like that, that's not acceptable. Anyway, let's get going here. Okay, so we have three onions, 3 sweet onions. Slice them up and saute. And we're gonna change it up a little bit with the spices here. So we're gonna use John Henry's Texas size pecan rub, but also we're going to use lemon pepper, and a really good one, nice flavorful chili and lime. That's a good one. So that's what we're going to do. And I got a jalapeno right here, not quite as big as I'd like, but they didn't have any more of these where I went, so I have this one in the refrigerator, and I'm going to have to settle for this. So anyway, and I got a bamboo stick. You put that in the oil. If it bubbles around here, that means the oil is ready for the chicken. Okay, so I put the stick in the oil, and I see bubbles, so the oil is ready. Let's get ready. Alright, chicken's cooking, smells really good. And we're gonna eat soon. So I'm gonna investigate this a little bit, this hot sauce. Very interested in this. Smells nice. You can really smell the truffle. Very good flavor, good heat. Immediately you notice the heat on that. That's good intense heat. I highly recommend it. Truff. Yeah. Make some eggs with this omelet. Put a little bit of this in the omelet. Onions, garlic, and some jalapenos diced up. Make a nice omelet. Yeah, good stuff. Talk a little bit about MTV. And I want to talk about MTV when they used to have VJs and play music videos back then. Martha Quinn and what was her name there? Blackheart, Nina Blackheart. JJ. I want to say JJ Walker, but and then Mark Goodman. I used to watch MTV all the time, constantly, every single video. Loved them all back then. This was the 80s, and had a cousin who got MTV, a couple of cousins who got MTV first before anybody else. So we would go visit them, and they had a back room, kind of like a TV room, and we'd sit there watching videos all day videos. And I kind of miss MTV the way it was originally. Then they got into reality shows, The Real World, which I would watch once in a while. And then VH1 came out and it would play videos. But I miss MTV, that old format, and the 80s music back then. Everybody was into making videos. They had the second wave of the British invasion. And I used to wait for, they would announce like, we have an exclusive and, brand new video coming from, I don't know, Captain and Tennille. And I would wait until they played it, and then they had the MTV News. Nowadays you don't need any of that. You type in your favorite musician and it'll give you all the updates. What are they working on? What are they doing? What rehab place they're in? All of that. But back then you had to depend on Martha Quinn. But I really miss MTV the way it was. I wish they would bring it back like that. Nice videos. As they say, the music, she's not what she used to be. And that's true. Yeah, the music business has changed. That's the way it is. My favorite station, WBCN, and I think it was the best station in the country. A lot of good stuff. Charles Lacquadera was on there, probably the best DJ in the country. Well, Wolfman Jack was good too. I remember Wolfman Jack was broadcasting, was it out of Mexico, with 250,000 watts. And at nighttime, you could hear him all the way on the East Coast. DJs don't have that kind of power anymore. Well, first of all, they've reduced maximum wattage to 50,000. So you can only have a maximum output of 50,000 watts. But Wolfman Jack, the Grease Man, was another one. Yeah, radio's changed, but WBCN, which is no longer around, which is surprising to me, but that was the best station in America. Get a situation going. The police. So I got the Italian sausages cooking in there. It smells so good. So good. We'll make the onions and the jalapeno. I did not buy bell peppers, but good enough. And we have some good sauce inside. See, the sky is clearing up a little bit. Yep, beautiful night. I will say that U2, the band U2, not the airplane, but the band U2, I miss them. They haven't put anything out in quite a while now, and I'm a big fan of U2. I mean, obviously, I like Joshua Tree, The Unforgettable Fire, but for me, my favorite album is Achtung Baby. When that came out, I couldn't get enough of it. I listened to it constantly, and I actually saw him in concert that year. But till this day, that's my favorite U2 album, and one of my favorite of all time. I mean, it's such a good album. Just thinking about it now, I wish I had it playing in the background. Like, every song on that album is awesome. So I hope they get together and record something just as good, because I'd like to hear it. If ABBA can do it, and I love ABBA. My favorite ABBA song, The Day Before You Came. Love that song. But U2, I'd like to read that they're in the studio right now working on something. So according to my trusted iPhone, but James Webb Telescope has completed 91.96% of its journey. 91.96%. So that equals to 826,000 miles, or 1.33 million kilometers. And it has about 72,000 miles to go. And the speed, they've gotten it to go slower now, so it's doing about 0.15 miles per second. So I'm very excited. It's almost at the L2 orbit. Helicopter coming. Like to figure out where all these atoms come from. Where's matter come from? Well, everything is done except for these onions, and I'm gonna do them now. It's getting dark out. Of course, it's winter time, so. Hey. Okay.
Yay. Thank you. Love you, Papa.
Love you.
What are you making now?
What?
What are you making?
Onions. finger with this. Gonna saute these in premium olive oil. So the onions are sauteing. The whole neighborhood can smell them. They smell awesome. Opens up your appetite. Love that smell. So tomorrow we're gonna have one of my favorite coffees, Volcanica. This is Ethiopian coffee, medium to light roast. It's delicious. Like, I love this coffee, so can't wait. Yeah, those onions, they're very deceptive. It looks like a lot, and then you cook them and they shrink down to like a third of what they used to be, maybe even less than a third, but delicious, delicious, delicious.